Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Price. Happy December. We are coming to the end of 2019, so what I'm going to do is recap the year some, and then we'll go into the December energies. So Ariane, the Lyran Council of Time that I channel, was calling 2019 the year of freedom. Freedom is always an inside job. So there was a lot of focus on strengthening your inner realm, really holding that sacred space and amplifying your love so that you're then interacting with the world from a stronger flow of love. Overall, there was a lot of focus on neutralizing, especially in order to connect your mental and emotional flow so that you are perceiving and feeling into life with more love, more neutrality. Now, that first quarter was all about shifting the relationship with time. And this very much began that balance of mental and emotional flow. So when we are shifting our relationship with time, that means we are creating more safety from the past so that we're not holding old trauma and responding unconsciously to life. And we're also creating safety with the future so that we are open to the future potentials and fear, especially unconscious fear, isn't shutting you down. And as I'm talking about these, look back over your experience and even how you're feeling now. Have you progressed through some of those things? Because as you're looking at progress, even if it feels like it's not perfect, you're helping to understand how you can experience something that might not even seem perfect, which nothing is in the physical realm, but it might not seem desired, but that you can still hold those positive potentials. So as we began the year shifting our relationship with time, we were opening up to much more patience, which is a very open state and allows you to flow more easily with life. And then that second quarter really focused on neutrality so that you are soothing yourself, moving from fear to love. And this quarter began building that new foundation in your energetic structure. So though it was foundational and it was inner realm work, it started creating a new foundation of your overall resonance so that you're communicating with life differently. So that your subtle bridge, your mental and emotional flow, that information flowing out has a strong resonance of love. And you could call love capability, excitement, joy, creativity, all of those positive experiences that may not always be easy, but that they are a healthy, connective energy. Now that second quarter, as you were working on that energetic structure, that began to build the strength in order to focus and the courage and the patience to be able to flow through your changes more easily. And that built into rebirthing the new you, which then moved right into the third quarter. That third quarter was all about a new identity. So that the veil of forgetting was thinning. There was more of a connection with universal law, especially as it applies into the physical realm. And you're connecting more with your divine self, your infinite self, even while you're being fully human. And since that previous quarter was all about working that energetic structure, that experience of blending the universal aspect of life or the broad connective aspect of life with the individuality, that was much more grounded, that you could apply universal law or the invisible connection into your life. And then that brought us to the fourth quarter, which is all about transcending duality. And that's what we're experiencing now, so that it becomes much more balanced, connecting those opposites. Ariane, the Lyran Council of Time, always uses that subatomic model where the nucleus of the atom that has the positively charged proton and the neutral neutron When those are equal, then that connection with the opposite, the negative electron, is much easier since it's got a stable nucleus and it creates new form. And that's what we're doing. So when your positivity is equal to your neutrality, that's when building new form or connecting opposites is easier. And that's what transcending duality is all about. It's not about polarizing only towards love or polarizing towards the negative. It is about blending those two so that the power of your love is that middle road expanding out, connecting those two opposites, integrating them, applying those opposites. It's not good is positive, bad is negative. When you get into that neutrality, you can experience the flow of both, even though you may choose or desire one outcome. You can experience both and integrate them so that you are fully flowing with life. This last quarter is helping you connect that universal aspect or the all into your individual experience, the one. So you're connecting opposites. That's when you're transcending duality. It's both. Now, boundaries came up big time in this last quarter, especially October, so that you are interacting from empowerment rather than just the unhealthy sacrifice of give and receive. They are able to flow in a balanced way that supports an improved future. So in this last quarter, there was a lot of focus around loving the self. Now, this flows right into the December energies. I was given the phrase powerful love. And this builds on focusing on loving the self unconditionally and then interacting with life from that replenished, infinite flow of love as much as possible. And December feels like a deepening of that inner strength for your freedom, kind of bringing this 2019 energy to a culmination, even though it doesn't stop right at the end of the year, so that you are less affected by the push and pull of the external realm. Ariane says that you only ever interact with information. You never just hear it or see it because it's out there. You receive it, you take it in, it mixes with your energy. So your choice is then how you're going to focus your inner experience. So things like, how willing are you to return to your joy? That question that came up last month is helping us to focus on that inner realm so that your experience is flowing strongly with love, even though that doesn't mean it only feels pleasant. But when you are sustaining more of that loving focus within, you start experiencing life from that lens. Your experience is better, and that flows out into the world. Because humanity learns mostly through that subconscious, that invisible 99% aspect that is the mental and emotional information that's flowing or emitting into the world around you. And I was also shown a vision for December. I was shown the heart chakra and the throat chakra going through a lot of change. And the way that I was shown this was like unraveling knots or releasing a lot of emotional and mental information that was contracting or inhibiting your easier flow. I was also shown in December that the back of the chakras are opening more, and that always indicates another level of empowerment. And I was also shown a reminder of something that came through a long time ago that I mentioned from time to time. The first time this happened was in the late 2000s when I was shown that the heart chakra was starting to have a predominant flow of flowing outward from the self. Humanity used to keep those chakras flowing more specific to the self. Now, there was still interaction that occurred, but we were moving into a much more open flow of connection. And that was corroborated by a couple of different people back in that time frame, that there was a shift in the way that the heart chakra was flowing. And in 2015, I then saw that the throat chakra was going through that same sort of change, where we were starting to express and manifest and connect outward. Because the throat chakra energy, while it is the things we verbalize or don't verbalize, it is a broader expression of manifesting and manifesting the self into the world. So I was brought that vision again because we are going through another powerful time of a lot of focus on the heart and the throat chakras, so that our loving expression into this world, our powerful love, is influencing your own life more directly, and then that ripples out, and that's what changes the trajectory of humanity. And sometimes that powerful love means letting go of something or someone. Sometimes it means staying in a situation that may not seem ideal for the time, but always, whatever that individual experience is, always it's about doing that inner work so that you are holding more love within. And so that sacred space within, you're honoring that, and you're transforming any of those energies that are creating a little more blockage, like anger or resentment or fear. And this allows you to interact with life in a completely different way. And you may still want to ask in December, am I loving myself unconditionally in this moment? You may still want to check in with yourself. Am I willing to return to my joy? Because your powerful love is the key to enjoying your life and teaching humanity through example that there are different options available. Love is the binding force of life. It's within you. It's within all life. Amplify that in December and flow it into this beautiful world. I will be teaching light language here in Sedona in 2020 on February 28th, 29th, and March 1st. We have early bird pricing that we are extending through December 15th. So if you are interested in learning this beautiful form of nonlinear communication, then check that out on the website. Of course, I will be doing a Lyran Perspective teleclass in December. And last month, Ariane talked about dealing with separation from empowerment. And when you really embrace the powerful experience of linearity, where in this density we experience separation, that is when you can connect from a much clearer and stronger flow of love, where there's less deception, there's less manipulation, there's less unconscious fear that's leading your experience. I will also be doing a monthly energies teleclass where I will be using crystalline soul healing and light language to help you shift your energetic structure so that you can align more with the powerful love that you are. This increases synchronicities. It helps bring more clarity so that you're perceiving life through the positive potentials and you're experiencing more of that support from life, even through challenge. Now let's talk about the light language. This was an interesting one. So much going on with the throat, a lot of activity in the head, especially around the frontal lobe, all about that mental flow. This really brought in a lot of shift in the second chakra, which I have noticed happening with a lot of the light language lately over these past few months. And with that second chakra, I was shown something that I was shown many, many years ago about how the Christ story created a rift in the second chakra for many people. And the healing of that is what is helping us to move into our own Christ consciousness experience, where that powerful love, because my experience of Jesus is he was a master teacher of love. That powerful love that you are is able to flow out into the world. And the energy of forgiveness, the energy of holding boundaries or standing up when something's not right and expressing your truth, all of that becomes grounded in the expression of love. So that particular story is very broad in nature. It has a lot of galactic history connected with the Orions, and we have many different versions of that here in our physical realm. So however that consciousness of love applies to you, look for the energy of the second chakra and how you are relating out to life, and notice any kind of changes that you can make that sustain that powerful love within you as you're connecting with life. So I hope you have an amazing December and enjoy the light language.
Huaram steirat son, chad rukutum had erunat ira sele imstua. Janat so steirumak erat nehem ekwarat, daele restorut am surustan in. Hasustaru uma, njod sairat enim kwarat, dairat il hilmustarit knem sut, chaneyar kwaru u, ham utsesterut, tane mairut kalel. Steirun okwarima, huamak kwaist uret sosand uriema, kieruma hik lel historut numa, nem sura steirut kwarut, deine hem kwara gam storet saru ulelem charat nima kieru ua. Sumka steim. Jom saru steirunak kailel hima, natsu steind urmik mehrut ma. Gamo ora steiroduk nimme hakiam. Nam chairut dal makarat huan massa steirima. Wa kuarama. Hano kua. Het susamo chorat. Kanairut kmaru ua. Nam tsura chanatak gairutuk ma huame ek kieru uet sustairum. Nen shuramak kaimetsun. Hairune. Huam surashterut kua ia. Nan shurat sano huma ik kwarat kua amma. Nan shurat ktel him kwarit gamawa en nan shurat ik kwarit turma. Huamat sustan kwarmak klel him shurat net se sturnik kwame e sutsun steru ua. Hadu taknama hek kawa. Hua matsutsan jonet kerumak keleli im tsut jet urnehik mawaem. Ngairua. Hormatchatsan jairu dairut kmare hekmaru utsun chanetsuret til urmahik kwama ndoret tukwa tsatsa warem. Norema Numharet kuma, janut sod cheret eleli im, son stor mekarut no at et so chori me kieru uam. Jesusom chairet ni ieret, kuelel im. Gairu ut net chan dam kwarmak ratene et sot chanetet iruma him et sutsem chairet klal im. Warat kom ma ar nam etsachune neru tom hakairu well. Summa steinen. Naruma hierut kotsen janetak erokoa meru mat tale jeretek ner hi ie kurut sutsum jeru. Huam.